In this video, we're just going to look at how you would graph certain inequalities on a number line based upon what type of number the variable is being said to be. So for the first column on the left, all of these are going to be x is an element of n, which means that x is a natural number. And natural numbers are positive whole numbers. They do not include any fractions or decimals, and they do not include 0 or any negative number. So if we're given this inequality here where x is greater than or equal to 3, and we're given our number line, if we start to plot that out, we'd have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 filled out there. We're going to start by filling in on 3, put a dot on that because it is greater than or equal to 3. So put a dot on top of 3 just there. And then we're going to fill in a dot on every number that is a natural number that is larger than 3. So on 4, on 5, on 6, on 7, and on 8. And just to indicate that the pattern continues, we draw an arrow down the end of our number line and we just fill it in. And that's to indicate that the pattern continues similarly onwards. We got the same sort of process going on with the next one. We have x is less than or equal to 3. So in this one's going to fill this in. We got 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, minus 1, minus 2, minus 3. So again, we're going to start at 3 because it is less than or equal to 3. We're going to fill in that. We're going to fill in 2, and we're going to fill in 1. But we're going to stop there because in this particular column, x is a natural number, and 0 and anything smaller than 0 is not a natural number. So we do not go any further than that. And for our last one, we've got x is less than 3. So we're going to fill this out again. We're going to have our numbers here, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, minus 1, and minus 2. And we're not going to start on 3 this time because it is less than 3, but not less than or equal to the way we had above. So this time we start on 2, and we fill in 1 as well, and then we stop because anything further down wouldn't work because 0, minus 1, minus 2, and so on down, they're not natural numbers, so they're not elements of n, so it wouldn't work out like that. So that's how we graph natural numbers. Let's take a look at integers. For integers, we are going to mark every whole number that is either positive or negative or 0. So our first one here, we've got x is greater than or equal to minus 2. So if we start filling on a number line, we can start at minus 3, minus 2, minus 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And we're going to start by filling a dot in on top of minus 2 because it is greater than or equal to. And then we're going to put a dot on every whole number going up from there. And then at the very end, we're going to fill in an arrow just to indicate that the pattern continues on in the same manner. Now for the next one then, we've got x is less than or equal to minus 2. So if we start filling this in, minus 6, minus 7, and minus 8. So this time again, we're going to put a dot on top of minus 2 because it's less than or equal to. And this time we're going off to the left. So we're going to put a dot on minus 3, minus 4, minus 5, minus 6, minus 7, minus 8. And then again, we fill in our arrow down the end to indicate that the pattern continues onward. This time we didn't have to stop at any negative numbers like we did before because negative numbers are included in integers. And then for the last one, we've got x is less than minus 2. So if we fill this in, we've got 2, 1, 0, minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4, minus 5, and so on down. This time we are not going to put a dot on minus 2 because it is less than but not equal to minus 2. So we're going to start on minus 3, and then we're going to put a dot on every whole number going down, and at the very end we just fill in the arrow to indicate that the pattern continues on in the same fashion. In the next setup, these are rational numbers, and these are a little bit different than the others because we're not just putting dots on numbers anymore. So we'll take a look at x is less than or equal to 2 and see how that goes to start with. So if we fill in our number line, we'll have minus 2, minus 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We're going x is less than or equal to 2, so we're going to put a dot on 2, a solid filled in dot on 2. And then what happens is after this we're going to shade in our number line going all the way down. It's going to fill it in. And the reason we do this is because all the fractions and decimals between the whole numbers are included this time, not just the whole numbers the way we had that for integers or for natural numbers. But we're still going to put our arrow down the end to indicate our pattern goes on like that. So that's how we do that. The difference between our first one here and our next one is this time we have x is less than 2. And if we fill in our number line, just to start putting the numbers, this time we're going to put a circle on 2. Now the reason for this is that all the numbers leading up to 2, like 1.9, 1.99, all those numbers up from there, are going to be included in this particular set, but 2 itself won't. So that's why it's just a circle and not a filled in circle or a filled in dot. But we're still going to shade all the way down from that circle. So we shade all the way down to the end, and then we fill in our arrow at the very end just to indicate that the pattern continues onwards. And for our last one, let's look at one where we've got x is greater than or equal to 2. So we've got 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Now for this, because it's greater than or equal to, we get a nice big filled in dot on top of 2. And then we shade everything that is larger than that. So all the numbers going on from there. And then at the very end of that, we fill in an arrow just to indicate that the pattern continues in the same fashion. And that is how you graph different inequalities on a number line.